Hi everyone, this is Angela Noel Martin. I'm broadcasting live. I'm from Acupuncture Boston and Healthy Channels, and I'm broadcasting from my office today. I actually have a break between patients, and I thought I'd just jump on really quick and get some live broadcast experience and say hello to all of you. I actually wanted to talk to you about a subject in particular, something in my life just popped up unexpectedly where I received some news that is less than ideal. And, this is a situation that could perhaps be very stressful for myself and my husband. It could cost us some money. So, and I just kind of noticed my response to it and noticed how I felt inside. And I realized, you know what, this is something that I've been working on for a long time, on how to deal with stress-inducing situations a little bit more efficiently. So, I feel like, especially in this country, in the United States, we don't necessarily teach kids and teach people in general how to work with our emotions and how to respond to things that may not be ideal. So bad news, bad news that's just not, how can I say it, a loss of a loved one, a loss of a job, that's all stuff that, is difficult to deal with, and that's kind of in a separate category. But I'm talking about things that can just really induce stress for a temporary period of time. So I was just going to give you some tips because I'm trying to figure out myself how to deal with this stress-inducing situation, and I thought I'd pass along some knowledge. So I'm going to go through this really quickly. I actually have a patient coming in pretty shortly. So the first tip is to stop and breathe. Just kind of stop, notice yourself, notice how you feel, notice if there's anxiety or stress, happening, but just breathe through it, okay? If you're spiritual, or if you have some sort of practice in that regard, breathe, meditate, pray, ask for guidance, whatever works for you. But try not to go through this yourself. Even if it's calling a friend and talking about it, that's also really helpful. The second tip is to take the high road. So if you're really bothered by something that somebody else did or said to you, and you're offended by it, maybe just step back for a little bit and before responding in a really angry way, just take a few deep breaths, go for a walk, kind of remove yourself from the situation before you address that person. Wait till you've cooled down. The third one is do something that makes you feel good. So pay somebody a compliment, do something really nice for somebody, call a friend and tell them how much they mean to you, write a love letter. That's something that I recently heard about on another podcast, and I love that. Just write a love letter to somebody, tell them how much they mean to you, something that's really going to warm your heart so that you can feel better. Another thing you can do is just put yourself in, if it's somebody that's bothered you, put yourself in their shoes and try to figure out what it must be like for them and try to understand where they're coming from. That's also, I find that to be very helpful. Talk it out. That was another one that I was thinking. Call a friend. We mentioned that earlier. And another one, last but not least, actually, is to leave the grounds. Leave your workspace, or even if you can't actually leave the premises, just go for a walk around. Talk to somebody that you find really humorous or inspiring. Just do something to remove yourself from that situation for a little bit. And a lot of these tips seem like common sense, but sometimes I think we all need to be reminded of how we can help ourselves in stressful situations. Because I think our first, for a lot of us, our first response, I know for me, when I received the news that was less than ideal, my first response was to kind of freak out, and I felt really anxious and angry. And so whatever it is that you can do, I'm really a big proponent of meditation and breathing. Just breathing. It doesn't even have to be anything other than just taking 5 deep breaths. That can put things in perspective. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching my live broadcast. If you're watching this later, thank you. If you're still here, I really appreciate it. I know this is really new for me. I'm learning how to live broadcast, and it can be a little nerve-wracking, but I really appreciate you listening. So if you have any particular